Hello, friends. I am Mukul and I welcome you in this new session of developmental psychology. You must have seen my last few videos about this subject, and I hope that you must have got some new insights, some new enrichment about the developmental psychology. In present video, I'll be discussing the most important concept of developmental psychology, that is the nature of development, and I'm sure you will enjoy this video. So, what are the learning goals in this video? First is we'll see the nature of development, biological, cognitive, and socio-emotional process. Then we'll see different period of development. Then we'll move on to the significance of age. And lastly, what are the important developmental issues that we study in this subject. I want to ask yourself in the beginning, can you identify and list some changes and differences between yourself, a school-going child, and an infant? Think about it, and if possible, make a list of it. What changes you can make it out? Yourself, a school-going child, and maybe your infant. Growth and development are two important concepts in the development psychology. Growth refers to an increase in the size of body parts or of the organism as a whole. It can be measured or quantified. For example, growth in height, weight. Whereas development is a process by which an individual grows and changes throughout the life cycle. The term development applies to the changes that have a direction and hold definite relationship with what precedes it, and in turn will determine what will come after. A temporary change caused by a brief illness is not considered a part of development. All changes which occur as a result of development are not of the same kind. Therefore, changes in size, like physical growth, changes in proportions, child to adult, changes in feature, disappearance of a baby teeth, and acquiring new features are varied in their pace and scope level. Development includes growth as one of its aspects. Maturation and evolution are two simultaneously important concepts. So, whenever you think about developmental psychology, you should get clear about growth, development, and maturation and evolution. Maturation, basically, it refers to the changes that follow an orderly sequence and are largely dictated by the genetic blueprint, which produces commonalities in our growth and development. The maturation process seems to unfold from within, following inner genetically determined timetable, that is, characteristics of the species. In evolution, it refers to the species specific changes. Natural selection is an evolutionary process that favors individuals or a species are best adapted to survive and reproduce. The evolutionary changes are passed from one generation to the next within a species. Evolution proceeds at a very slow pace. Emergence of human beings from great apes took about 14 million years. Imagine 14 million years. It has been estimated that the Homo sapiens came into existence only about 50,000 years ago. Now, what does development include? According to psychologists and developmental psychologists, child development covers wide range of skills that a child master over his or her lifespan. These are related to different areas. First, physical growth and development. It includes development of various parts of the body. Next, motor skills. It includes fine motor skills and gross motor skills. Next, sensory. Under it, awareness of information through a variety of senses, various senses. Then, cognition, the ability to learn, remember, and solve problems. Then, speech and language, understanding and using language, reading, and communications. And next, social interaction and emotions, interaction with others, and self management. So, all these 6 points we'll see in the process of development, or they are part of nature of development. Now I am mentioning few differences in growth and development, as these two concepts are very important and you should know this concept. First, you know that growth refers to change in particular aspects of the body, whereas development focuses on holistic whole organism. Next, growth refers to change in size resulting from multiplication of cells or increase in intracellular substances, whereas development refers to the maturation of structure and function. Growth refers to quantitative changes, whereas development includes both quantitative and qualitative changes. Next, growth may not always be progressive, whereas development is a progressive series of orderly and coherent changes. Next point is growth does not continue throughout life, whereas development is a continuous process. It starts at conception and continues till death. The changes caused by growth are measurable in units. For example, growth in height or weight can be measured, whereas development includes qualitative and quantitative changes which are not directly measurable but can be observed from behavior and performance. Lastly, growth may or may not bring about development. For example, a child growing in terms of weight may not show any functional improvement, whereas development is also possible without growth. Important point, okay? Development is also possible without growth. A child may not show any increase in height and weight, but may show behavioral improvement or improved cognitive skills. All these points, please make sure you all these points you remember by heart, learn by heart, because they you will need all these points in your examination. Now, just small activity for you. Observe each picture and write which is growth and development. 4 different pictures are given. So just take a break and just see 4 things. Is it growth or development? You can, if you understand the concept of growth and development, you can able to answer this question or a small activity very easily. Now, domains of development: physical development, cognitive development, and socio-emotional development. All these 3 domains are important as development is a unitary concept. I mean, development does not occur in vacuum, right? changes or in one domain definitely impacts all other domains. So these three domains, physical, cognitive, and socio-emotional, are interrelated and they impact each other and influence each other. Now, stages of development. Basically, there are prenatal period from conception to birth. I made my slide more explanatory, and I believe that you will use these slides in your examination, right? So please, I mean, at least go through these slides whenever you get time. In this prenatal period, this period is specifically characterized by a rapid development during which a single cell transforms into a human baby. Infancy is subdivided into neonatal stage birth to 28 days. So this period is very important. Many books mention different periods, but I have searched almost all important reference books and I come to this period. So I expect that you should use this statistical data in your answer. Then infancy 28 days to 12 months and toddlerhood is 12 to 24 months. This stage is characterized by adjustment and helplessness. As infants grow, they move towards independence, acquiring various skills, walking, talking. Childhood, 2 to 12 years. In this two specific uh, divisions, early childhood, 2 to 6 years, then late childhood, 6 to 12 years. Next stage is adolescence, important stage, and I believe you must have crossed this stage. So this period is the bridge between childhood and adulthood. The beginning of this period is puberty, leading to sexual maturity. Quest for identity begins through thoughts becomes more logical and abstract. Peer group has a greater impact. The adolescent choose career and prepares for the world of work. Next is young adulthood in the 20s and 30s this period. Next is middle adulthood, 40s and 50s period. And lastly, late adulthood, I mean old age, 60 years onward. Each stage has a different characteristics and you can make it out from the slides that I'm using right now. Now the significance of age. I want to ask you, how old would you be if you did not know how old you were? So age and happiness. I mean, if I ask you, is there a specific age where you will feel more happy? Right? So this important attribute is kind of a studied in this subject. Then when I discuss about age, then there are three different type of age. One is biological age, chronological age, and psychological age. And I'm not discussing you this thing. I expect that you please you this is kind of a homework to you. You can check these things out on the internet or with your reference books, right? This significance of age and how it impacts your happiness. What are these three: biological age, chronological age, and psychological age? Now, developmental issues. These three issues, nature and nurture, I'll discuss in detail in next session. Stability and change, and continuity and discontinuity. All these issues, as and soon, I'll be discussing in next session, in next lecture, because they'll often come in our discussion. So I'm not discussing any further. Please make a note of it. These three issues are very important in developmental psychology. Next important point, if you wish to study, if you crave for extra knowledge, then these two books are very important. One is The Boy Who Was Raised as a Dog by Bruce Perry. He is a very renowned developmental psychologist. And if you can get a PDF of it on internet, or if you can get it on Amazon, please read. This book is very interesting. And next is The Whole Brain Child. This book is also very famous book by Daniel J. Siegel, as this is quite of a bestseller and it will give you new insights, new tips about the whole brain, how to use the whole brain. Thank you very much.